If you're starting at 45% body fat, you are metabolically sick. Before we can focus on fat loss, let's start improving your overall health. How do we do that? You need to start walking. Walking is underestimated for its simplicity. Here's 7 ways walking improves your health. Number 1, it strengthens your heart by reducing your resting heart rate and lowering blood pressure. It lowers your risk of diseases such as heart disease, stroke, and high cholesterol. It improves circulation and healthy blood vessels and reduces the risk of blood clots. Number 2, weight management and body composition. Walking burns as much as 60 to 80 calories per hour, and even more if you're a larger person. This is not insignificant, it adds up. And up to 70% of those calories are from fat because it's aerobic and low intensity. Number 3, blood sugar control. Short walks after meals, as little as 2 to 5 minutes, can help lower post-meal blood sugar spikes and will improve insulin sensitivity of muscle cells, therefore reducing your risk of developing type 2 diabetes. Number 4, bone and muscle health. As a weight-bearing exercise, walking helps build and maintain bone density, which reduces the risk of osteoporosis and fractures. This is especially important if you're older. At 45% body fat, walking will strengthen your legs due to the extra load you're carrying. Are you suffering from achy joints? Walking lubricates joint cartilage and ensures they receive nutrients, which can alleviate pain and stiffness, especially if you have the early onset of arthritis. Number 5, mental and emotional well-being. Let's face it, being at 45% body fat is not fun. Walking releases endorphins, natural mood boosters. Therefore, it can reduce symptoms of anxiety, depression, and stress. Walking outdoors amplifies the benefits. And walking can improve your sleep quality. Number 6, cognitive function. Walking can sharpen your memory and focus. Number 7, immune system boost. Walking can bolster your immune system, but there's one more really important one. Not only does walking help reduce overall body fat, it's especially effective at burning the dangerous visceral fat around the organs. As you see, when you're at 45% body fat, walking is that important. I got a quick story for you. When I was a kid, I witnessed something that at the time I didn't realize would inform this video. It was around Christmas and I noticed that we had a new mailman fresh on the job, but he was very overweight. And I wondered to myself, how long would this guy last? This was during the days when mailmen actually walked to deliver mail. Now fast forward to the following Christmas. I was at the mailbox with my mom and I thought that we had a new mailman. I listened to the conversation they were having. My mom told the man he looked amazing. He had lost so much weight. The mailman told her he had lost about 60 pounds since he had started delivering mail. Then I realized it was the same mailman. My mom asked him, "How did you do it?" He said he just did his job and walked every day. And he even took a couple of long walks on his off days. My mom said, "That's it?" He said no, he cut out all junk food and fast food, started eating whole unprocessed food. But he said he paid careful attention to his portion sizes. The more weight he lost, the better he ate, and vice versa. I tell you this story to illustrate the power of walking and a daily step count. Of course, the nutrition piece is just as important, which we'll get to in a minute. The average US adult takes 3 to 4K steps per day. If you're sedentary, it's closer to 2K steps per day. Now it's time to start tracking your daily step count. Use the health app on your phone or get a cheap pedometer like I use. Start tracking as soon as you get dressed. Just walking around your home or apartment, you'll be surprised how many steps you get in and you haven't even left the house. Your goal for the first 4 weeks is just to get the bottom of the average 3K steps per day, which is very doable to start. All you're doing here is building the habit of walking more. At the end of 4 weeks, add 500 steps per day until you reach 4K steps per day. After 8 weeks, you'll add 250 to 500 steps per day. And then each week after that, continue to add 250 to 500 steps per day with the goal of getting to 10K steps per day. Why 10K steps per day? It's completely arbitrary. It's just a nice round number. There is some history behind it, but I'm not going to get into that. It may take you 3, 4, maybe even 5 months to reach your 10K step goal, but that's okay because at least you have the goal to guide you. The most important thing is that you have developed that daily habit of moving more and walking. If you're at 45% body fat, you don't need to be reminded that you're in a weekly calorie surplus. But that's great for this reason. You can create a big calorie deficit. If you're at 45% body fat, creating a slight 200 to 300 calorie deficit per day, that's not going to work. It could take forever to see significant fat loss at that rate. You won't have any wiggle room if you overeat. And trust me, you will overeat at times. It's part of the dieting process and nothing to fear. To mitigate these lapses in dietary restraint, it's best to create as large a calorie deficit as you can tolerate. And don't worry, you'll still have plenty of resources to fuel your walking. So how do you do it? Let's get the obvious out of the way. Cut out fast food, junk food, and snacks. You've heard this 1,000 times. Why? Because it works. And it's a good place to start. But the most important consideration when creating a calorie deficit is diet adherence. Let me say that again. Diet adherence. Your ability to stick to your diet is crucial. Individual variability is something that just doesn't get talked about enough. What works for your cousin may not work for you, and vice versa. You have several methods you can deploy to create a calorie deficit. I feel this one is the best. Cut out starch and just eat vegetables. This is a very low carb approach, usually less than 100 grams of carbs per day. But a very low carb approach will stabilize your blood sugar. By keeping insulin quiet throughout the day, you give your body a better chance of accessing stored body fat. You will need to reintroduce more carbs later when you hit 30% body fat. But for now, the combination of low carb and walking is a powerful way to dig into stored body fat. The next method is a very low fat diet. Maybe you don't respond well to low carbs. That's fine. By cutting out fat, usually 30 grams or less, you'll significantly decrease calories. If you're not eating dietary fat, you'll be much less likely to store any more body fat, as you're actively digging into the fat that you have. So very low carb or very low fat, the choice is yours. The third method is going very low calories, if you don't mind tracking. This one works very well. An easy way to find your daily calories to put you in a significant calorie deficit is just multiply your body weight by 10. For example, you weigh 250 pounds, multiply that by 10, and that will equal 2,500 calories per day. That's plenty of calories to fuel your walking and activity. No matter what method you choose, at some point you're going to have to take a diet break. You'll want to eat whatever it is that you want to eat, but the key here is to eat until you are satisfied and never stuffed. That will keep you from getting out of control. Do this for a week, 2 weeks max, and it should be enough to get you reset with your hormones and to decrease diet fatigue. But you still keep up your step count during a diet break. Remember the Mailman? It took him a year to lose 60 pounds. Individual results will vary. Some of you may lose more than 60 pounds, some of you not as much. But I'm confident that a calorie deficit and steps will cut the time to get that weight off much quicker. If you try to lose weight with just diet alone, it could take years and it's not even guaranteed. You started at 45% body fat. Congratulations, you've reached 30% body fat. Screenshot the thumbnail of this video so you can have an idea of what 30% body fat looks like. Or if you have the resources, get your body fat measured professionally. You've lost a lot of weight, your health markers have greatly improved. People want to know what your secret is, and you're feeling really good about yourself at this point. Now the real work starts. In order to get to 15% body fat, you'll have to follow the 5 pillars of fat loss. Number 1, nutrition. Now you'll back off on your calorie deficit. A deficit of 200 to 300 calories per day should do at this point. And if you like, start incorporating some fasting. That way you can ensure you keep insulin quiet for a major part of the day. This will give your body that needed rest from processing sugar. A good way to start fasting is just simply delay the first meal of the day. I eat my first meal as early as 11 a.m. or as late as 5 p.m. Play around with it. See what works for you. Number 2, daily activity. You can decrease your step count now to 6 to 8K steps per day. The time to go back to 10K and even greater is if you ever decide you want to get below 15% body fat. But keep your NEAT high. Don't sit too long at any one time if possible. Move as often as you can. In a sneaky way, this will add to your calorie deficit. Number 3, strength training. Now it's time to put your improved testosterone to estrogen ratio to good use. You have to start some type of strength training. All you need is 2 to 3 full body sessions per week. You don't have to go on a crazy bodybuilding program. If you have access to a gym, I recommend doing a circuit on machines. You're not trying to burn calories here. You're just trying to preserve and or build some muscle. This is the crucial difference from stage 1. If you're not ready to go to the gym or time in your day doesn't allow, of course, if you have equipment at home, work out at home. If you don't have any equipment, there are plenty of videos out there that can show you how to do body weight training at home. Strength training will improve your metabolism to help dig into that stubborn body fat. Because you've improved blood sugar control, muscle cells will be hypersensitive to sugar and amino acid absorption, amino acids being the building blocks of muscle. Therefore, this is the time that you want to eat carbohydrate around your training, before and after, or at least after if you work out fasted. I like 50 to 80 grams of carbs around training, which leads to the other time I like carbs. Number 4, sleep and recovery. Growth hormone and testosterone are optimized during deep sleep, among other hormones as well. Growth hormone is an especially potent fat burner. And of course, testosterone helps build muscle. That's why I eat carbs in the last meal of the day, to make sure I don't wake up hungry and disrupt hormone optimization. Number 5, cardio. This one is optional if you have time. It's just a way to burn extra calories. There's nothing magical about cardio. Of course, it promotes heart and cardiovascular health, but don't make the mistake of doing cardio instead of strength training just because it's a lot easier. Do the stages I laid out, 80 to 90% consistently. You know it's going to take some time, but I know you can get to 15% body fat in half the time. Power tip. I came across this post on IG, and it really hits the point. This is why nutrition is the #1 pillar. Now watch this next to see why testosterone explodes when you hit 15% body fat. And as always, thanks so much for watching.